Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, where today I'll be reviewing Jurassic World Rebirth, the newest addition to the Jurassic Park franchise. This movie review will function the same as my previous reviews, which means there will in fact be spoilers for this movie, so if you don't want to be spoiled, I suggest clicking off and just going and watching the movie for yourself. That's all I have to say for this intro, so let's get right into it. To give you all a brief summary of this movie's plot, this movie is about a team of special operatives, which includes characters named Zora Bennett and Henry Loomis, played by Scarlett Johansson and Jonathan Bailey respectively, who go to an island called Isla St. Hubert, an island that was used as a testing facility for dinosaurs prior to the events of the original Jurassic Park movie. The reason for going to this island is that the largest prehistoric creatures on the island contain a potential fix for human heart problems, meaning they have to collect blood samples from the Mosasaurus, Quetzalcoatlus, and Titanosaurus, the three biggest creatures that live on the island. On the way to the island, the team rescues a family who has been stranded at sea due to being attacked by the Mosasaurus, and eventually the ragtag group of people find themselves on the island with no way off, with one group trying to collect blood samples and better humanity, that being the special operatives, while the others are entirely focused on simply escaping the island, that being the family that was stranded at sea. However, several dangerous predators inhabit the island, including a new mutant dinosaur that has never been seen before in any previous Jurassic Park installment. Now that I've kind of summarized this movie for y'all, let's talk about what was both good and bad about this movie. But before I begin, I would like to say that I'm both a huge dinosaur and Jurassic Park fan, and I've been that way since I was a little kid. If you know me in person, you can pretty easily tell from this, and also this. This means that I'll be judging this movie a little bit more harshly than the ones I previously reviewed, but regardless, this review should be pretty fair. In terms of praising this movie, there is a fair bit that I can say about it. First off, the D-Rex, the primary dinosaur antagonist of this movie, did not disappoint, and it was just as cool on the big screen as I had expected when I first heard about it. I will say that I wish it got more screen time, since it's only really at the very beginning of the movie and the very end. Nonetheless, it still had a very noticeable presence in the movie, which was very much appreciated. Some of the shots in this movie, which I'll throw up on screen for y'all, were beautiful and very aesthetically pleasing, which I feel that most of the Jurassic Park movies have gotten right in the past, and they definitely didn't mess up this time around. The dinosaurs in this movie also had some great and unique designs, with some of my favorites being the Mosasaurus and the D-Rex. I will say, though, that these dinosaur designs aren't the most accurate, which is something that Jurassic Park has never been great at portraying, even as far back as the first movie. But I get it, since dinosaurs that look like big fluffy chickens aren't going to get butts in the seats to watch this movie. I felt that this movie was more suspenseful than previous ones and focused more into horror elements that Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom had experimented with back in 2018. This was especially prominent in the design of the Distortus Rex, which looked like a complete abomination compared to the other hybrids we've seen in these movies, which, in case y'all didn't know, actually looked like dinosaurs to an extent. Another part of this movie that stuck out to me was the action, which in my opinion was pretty good and I think was greatly helped by the suspense in this movie. Finally, one of my favorite aspects of the movie was Dolores the Aqualops, which I thought was just so dang cute the whole movie. It was also a dinosaur I hadn't heard of prior to watching this film, so I thought it was nice that they gave a lesser known dinosaur more recognition. This was actually the case for several dinosaurs in this movie, since creatures such as Titanosaurus and Quetzalcoatlus had never been given big roles in any of the other movies. Before I criticize this movie, I want to ask you, did it feel like I gave this movie a lot of praise? If you said yes, then I hope you should know I have a lot to criticize about this movie as well. One of my least favorite parts about this movie was the sailboat scene. And if you know what I'm talking about, then you probably know why. At one point during this movie, a family of three, plus the older daughter's boyfriend, this is the same family that I talked about in the plot summary, are sailing in the middle of the ocean when a group of Spinosauruses and Mosasaurus attack the boat and damage it to the point where the family are left stranded in the middle of the ocean. After a few hours of trying to contact someone, Zora and her team finally find them and rescue them. I dislike this part especially because there were 4 semi-aquatic Spinosauruses sailing several miles off the coast of Isla St. Hubert, which wouldn't even be scientifically possible. And I'm not one to care about accuracy in these movies by any means, but this part in particular kind of crossed the line. Going back to the family that was rescued, I felt that they didn't really add much to the plot and could have easily been taken out of the movie entirely. In fact, all they really did throughout the entire film was get stranded, get rescued, and then just kind of try and find their way off the island once they ended up there. This was also kind of ridiculous too, in that them sailing out there in the first place seemed like it wouldn't be such a good idea if there are massive 60-foot aquatic prehistoric creatures out there in the world. The characters in this movie did not feel like they had any depth to them either, in any way, shape, or form, and I feel like they all ended up with very basic character archetypes. For example, we have Badass McCool Girl, Jerkface McGee, and a nerdy guy that works at a museum and cares way too much about dinosaurs. In previous Jurassic Park installments, the characters weren't oh so complex characters either, but I feel like it really stuck out to me this time around when watching this movie in particular. Additionally, Jurassic World Rebirth continues the long-standing tradition in Jurassic Park movies to never kill off main characters and limit themselves exclusively to killing off side characters, which is something that I feel adds so much more impact to a movie and makes it significantly more emotional. My final criticism of this movie is that Jurassic World Rebirth lacked a dinosaur versus dinosaur fight, which we've literally gotten in every other Jurassic Park and Jurassic World movie, and I feel that not having this scene kind of took away some of the importance that the dinosaurs have to the plot, when this is literally a movie focused entirely on dinosaurs coming back to life. I did recently learn, however, that we were in fact supposed to get a fight scene between the T-Rex and Distortus Rex in an earlier version of the script, which would have sufficed for a fight between dinosaurs, but honestly, I feel like it would have been incredibly one-sided due to the sheer size of the Distortus Rex. Now that I've covered both my criticisms and praises for this movie, let's move on to my final rating and overall opinion of Jurassic World Rebirth. I'm going to give Jurassic World Rebirth a 7 out of 10. The movie is good, don't get me wrong, but I feel like they could have done so much more with it rather than leave it open-ended for a potential sequel. So far, critics and audiences have been pretty divisive on this movie, with it having a 52% critic score and 72% audience score according to Rotten Tomatoes. Additionally, Jurassic World Rebirth just surpassed $500 million worldwide at the box office. This is the lowest rating I've given a movie on this channel yet, but it is not a bad movie by any means, and in fact, y'all should definitely go see it if y'all haven't already. Well, that was my review of Jurassic World Rebirth. I hope y'all enjoyed the video, and comment below your thoughts and opinions on the movie if you have already seen it. There are actually 2 big videos coming up in the future, with one being a vlog and the other being a new type of video in which I'll be comparing 2 movies that I feel many people were excited for coming into the summer. So stay tuned for those, which y'all can do by subscribing to my YouTube channel. But since that's all I really have to say for this outro, that's it. I'll be seeing y'all.